So it's basically the end of week 2. Been on the chemo all weekend, which is actually all in all been absolutely fine. Friday they administered it in. I was in the hospital for a couple of hours. My dad and Sue come along with us. They wanted to be there for the first treatment, which was very supportive. It's kind of boring a bit for them, I think, because you can only have one person in the room at the time, which is quite good going with 3 people, because obviously Vicky was there. So when my dad was in, Vicky could sit and have a chat to Sue. When Sue come in for a bit, Vic and Dad can chat, and then obviously when Vicky's in there, there's Dad. So I think that odd number's good, sort of, if you're going to take a little group of people, make sure you take a minimum of 3 others, because 2 of them will have to sit outside all the time. And we sort of sat in there was no problems, no sickness, no pins and needles, nothing like that. Then they plug you into your 46 hours, which runs right the way through. It ran right the way through yesterday. I didn't sleep Friday night. I think I did a vlog yesterday. I was a little bit, but I didn't sleep until very, very, very late in the morning Saturday, which meant I've shifted now my sleeping patterns to virtually nocturnal. It doesn't make a difference for me, obviously. And what I had yesterday, I was a little bit uncomfortable. I had to go to the hospital, get some more Oromorph, because I'm a morphine junkie. Morphine. And we went and got that yesterday, which was good, because I did need some. I think where my body's being poisoned, it's obviously reacting to the poison. A little bit uncomfortable, but all in all, really, I've known people. I've encountered. You hear stories, didn't you? Oh, they had their chemo and they're really, really ill and they're really rough and it screws them for sort of a week solid, and then 2 days later they're back in on it. No, complete opposite for me. I mean, I know what it's like to be tired. I know what it's like to be exhausted. I know what it's like to have lack of sleep. It wasn't like any of that. It was like I felt, I use the word drained, but I felt like I had actual living essence like sucked out of me. That's what it felt like. I guess now I know what it's like to be poisoned. So that's another sort of string to the bow. Put that on my CV. And I have experienced poisoning as well. So, but yeah, I mean, last night I was a little bit. I think I was tired. I was a bit overwhelmed. I was a little bit. But in the old hospital and that. Then I got my drugs and I was like, yay! I'm all happy again. And my sister just popped over and had something to eat. Funny thing is though, yesterday when we went to the hospital, fucking mad, absolutely mad. I went there and I was in a bit of a funny state anyway. I was a bit, and I went and saw the doctor and I was a bit like, I was trying to hold it back. I was a bit like, I don't like this. I'm at a point now where it's been 5-6 weeks. I've been fairly upbeat for someone who's been told what they've been told. I'm looking at the realistic side of it as well. I'm not bloody painting a picture of roses and cream, but at the same time it's not all black. It's a sort of a mixture of both. And the funny thing was, I went to the doctor. She was a slightly older doctor. I can obviously understand because it's the second time we've been to the out of hours. If obviously I'm going and getting sort of emergency painkillers, it can look a bit dodgy. It can look a bit sketch, can't it? It's like you run out of meds again and now you want more, But I think with this older doctor's experience, and maybe she's seen cancer patients and she's seen the rougher end of it and things like this, and she prescribed me what's a 500 millilitres? That's like well over a pint. No, what's a pint? 568? like a pint of morphine, not all for last night obviously, but you know, usually I've been getting 100 ml bottles, and if I'm having a rough day and I've been awake a lot, I can get up in the morning and have like 10 mils straight away. Now you've got 100 mils in a bottle, so bang, there's 10% of a bottle gone on a first thing on a Monday morning. A few hours later I could have, say, another 5. A few hours later another 5. Say, because obviously I've taken the Zomor first thing in the morning and I'm not having that again till last thing at night, I could then end up, you know, on my sort of 4th run taking another 10 millilitres. Then later on having my Zomor, waking up in the middle of the night with a twinge, oh okay, 10 millilitres, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, potentially you could do in a 24-hour period. Potentially, I mean that is if we're talking you're uncomfortable, you've slept funny, there's been a freezing, blistering night, you know, the gates of hell have swung open and you know, you're really not having a good day. That is potentially what, you know, you can go through. Obviously you definitely never want to overdose. I mean, I was on 10 millilitres in hospital when they were giving me dosages of 10 millilitres, I wasn't even having 5. So I go through half a bottle in a day. I could, I didn't. You know, what they gave me that was supposed to last, you know, I mean, they're ideally basing it on 20 mils a day, 25 max, and it going, oh, here's, you know, potentially 4 to 5 days worth. If you're only getting 4 days out of it, then we need to start augmenting your pain management, which is what obviously we've been doing. But the interesting thing is, you know, like last night, you gave me like a pint of this stuff, and it was insane. The guy come over and he brought out, and I looked at this massive bag, and I thought, and so I signed for it, and I was like, oh, Vic, just put that in the car. You know, don't say anything. And off we go. You know, I mean, it's going to last quite a while, but I'm using it more now for as and when. I'm not actually using it as a pain management system. I'm using it as and when. But I do seem to be using it more often than I would like, more often than I need. I feel like I need, but it's so difficult because when you get those twinges and those pains, you learn a lot about your own pain. You get a twinge, and first time it happens, you're like, what's it all about? Could this be a constipation? Is it trapped wind? Have I slept funny? And you start to diagnose yourself, and then you have your little oromorph, and everyone's happy. Then it starts, you know, and you start to recognise different types of twinges and pains and things like this, and you know when it's going to come, you know how long it's going to take before it gets there, and if you don't have any, you kind of go into panic mode because you think, oh Christ, I know what's coming next. I know what's coming next, and you know, obviously, luckily, it's not heroin. It's not a dirty street drug. It's a refined, controlled, medically balanced substance, which it does make you feel a bit better because you think this is clean, it's being administered clean in a clean environment. I'm not addicted. Well, I will be chemically addicted at the end of the day. I will be chemically addicted to it because it is an addictive chemical. But luckily for me, you know, the primary use of it is to relieve pain. So I do feel I get forgetful. I've probably repeated myself quite a lot in vlogs and things, but I get forgetful and like I get confused with certain things. I'm still well in control of my mind, but yeah, you sort of think like because this won't be the same form that a junkie would use it on the street. You can kind of understand, you know, how it is stronger, more like intravenously injecting things can really screw their heads up and things. And but you know, using it, beating cancer, there's no fear of like ending up becoming a junkie because you'll be so happy with the fact that you're alive that it will be the last thing on your mind, sort of thing. So yeah, well, that was my Sunday morning drug rant, which is all good. Going to go on the bike tomorrow, do a bit of filming, I think. Obviously I'll have to, I know how to manage the pain now, so I won't have anything in the morning and we'll go out quite early, 10:30. And then as soon as I finish on the bike, I'll dose up quite heavy, literally sort of straight out of bed onto the bike sort of thing tomorrow. So I'll upload some stuff of that. I'll edit it a bit better this time. I know last time it was a bit crap. People have, you know, mentioning no names and looking in no particular direction in Ireland. 22 minutes bike video. You know who you are. But yeah, obviously, like, people won't have to sort of sit there and watch a 22-minute video of Chris sort of filming the inside of a car and then 10 seconds of me on the bike. I'll be, we'll be doing it a bit better tomorrow, hopefully. So that should be quite fun. And then, yeah. And then I'm going to go see my dad in the afternoon. Oh Christ, I've got my line out, haven't I? Well, either way, it'll either be tomorrow or Tuesday I'll do the bike. Tuesday we're going to have tacos, so I'll upload something from that. That'll be a good crack. And then, yeah, the rest of the week, I think I'm going to meet up with a friend, probably a couple of friends. I'll have a steak this week as well. Steak and chips. Got a real thing for steak and chips at the moment. I have no idea why. I was never that big a fan on steak as it was. Bye-bye.